If you've ever tried to do any kind of project and you're missing one of the tools or one of the steps along the way, you know that feeling of like, well, damn. There's that feeling of I can't accomplish this task, and that is way too common in the design world. In scaling visual design, we need to think about it as building a foundation and taking it step by step so that doesn't happen to you. Because we can't be off running and then hit a brick wall every time we try and go to the next step. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you know who you are visually. And this could be a style guide from a designer, or it could be a one-page style guide. It could be as simple as something called a mood board. But it's a collection of fonts, of colors, of images that you like, who you are design-wise, and you start accumulating those. I really like having a one-page style guide. It's sort of like a cheat sheet with fonts, logos, colors, that kind of stuff. And it makes it so easy to hand those to designers. They don't need our entire 20-page style guide with all the information about how our logo fits and mocks up with stuff. If they're doing a big project for us, maybe we'll share that one. But just having something that's like, hey, in one page, you know who we are visually. Look at this, look at the website, you're off and running. Now that we have an idea of who we are visually, we need the raw materials for our design team or ourselves to work with. And that means photography, and lots of it in high quality. So there's a couple of sites that I just love for this. So the first is, if you need any kind of models, we use Model Mayhem. And I would like to say that this is kind of like the Airbnb of talent, but it's more like the 2000 era MySpace of talent. It's a pretty rough site. Hasn't been updated in a long time. You'll need a photographer or someone posing as a photographer to be able to sign up for it. But then it really does allow you to kind of sort through and find models in your area. Whenever we're traveling for work, we'll just see who's available there. And running a video product company, we have kind of different use cases for our products. Say something in athletics, for say, maybe a fitness model example, and we want to be able to show that on a page and talk about that kind of stuff. So we'll find somebody that looks fairly athletic and tell them what to wear and where to show up. It's really cheap. Usually it averages $80 to $100 an hour for a model is usually about what we pay, and usually about a 2-hour minimum. We're able to get tons of photos, even some video in that time frame. I really like that. Another thing is the location. So this one really is more like Airbnb for different locations. We use it all the time. It's called Peerspace, and it's just a great thing. You can use Airbnb. A lot of Airbnbs now stipulate in the fine print, you're not allowed to use this for a shoot, or you have to ask permission and pay a bunch more. This is made for shooting, and you'll find a lot of little studios that are just cool and are designed to look like offices or whatever, and they're really made for shooting in. High ceilings, lots of light. It's just really nice having a dedicated space for that. You've got your talent, you've got your location. And really then it's just a matter of taking photos. So you can either, if you have a nice camera, you can either shoot it yourself, or you can hire a photographer, talk to friends. Somebody's got a camera. It doesn't have to be the world's best. We don't need any Leibovitz here. We just need a good all-around photographer that can shoot a lot of things. So say you get a couple of models, $200 a piece. Say you get a Peerspace for $100 an hour for a couple hours, and a photographer for another few $100. And you just want them to burn the raw, like your design team can actually do the editing. All of that comes together, and for well under $1,000, usually about half that, you can all of a sudden have hundreds of photos with professionally directed models of your product, using it, different use cases, and be able to think through all of that ahead of time. And that's great, but that presents another problem. Now that you've got all of these photos, you've got hundreds of or thousands of photos floating around, and you don't know how to organize them and share them with the design team. Well, I've got just the tool for you. This was something that plagued us for a long time. We built solutions in-house, and then I found Air.ink. It was actually someone in my forum who recommended it. And well, there's pictures of me, but we've got things like VidLoft. So all of our different kits, so like our Pro Kit, our mobile kit, different camera packages that we offer to our customers. We've got shots of people traveling. So this is actually a series we're working on, the kits in different famous places, which is kind of cool. And then lots with different models. And so we'll organize them by trip because it just helps us remember which models we worked with in which cities. In different locations, we can usually put those together. So this was a Peerspace with a model. I think all in, we were in for a few $100 for a couple hours in the space with this model. And it was a nice kind of office-looking space. But being able to kind of get different shots of people using our kits. This was kind of more of a fashion kind of example, maybe a vlogger. But yeah, it's just so nice. Somebody working remotely, uploading footage in the park. There's actually a photo of me. So only edited photos go in here. We want like just the best, the selects. So not only does this keep it organized, but one of the reasons I love Air.ink is I can actually share these boards with designers. So I could share everything, or I could just come in here and select certain photos, say, hey, we're going to be working with the Pro Kit. We just need photos of people using the Pro Kit, so I could select those and just share those with that designer. So they're not using photos of the wrong product line or anything like that. We've got behind the scenes photos that customers have provided in here, which is pretty cool. This was in a medical environment, being able to kind of show that and how our kits are being used. I highly recommend Air.ink. It has just been fantastic to have that fluidity, to always have great visual content at your fingertips. And then we've got to do something with all this stuff, right? If we just amass a library of photos, that's not going to help us out. Nobody wants to come to your company and look through your family photo album. So we need to do something with those. And there's several different ways you could go here. One of the ways, I'm sure you've seen Canva before. It's a great DIY option if you're looking to be able to kind of just do it yourself. And it's great for presentations. I'm terrible at designing presentations, and Canva makes that a whole lot easier. If you want to move to the next level and have somebody else do it, there's Fiverr. I really love Fiverr for being able to draw from a whole pool of designers. Different designers have different styles, and some have some flexibility of being able to kind of design stuff in different styles, but really they're artists and they each have their own voice. And so being able to like jump around and pull from different voices based on what you want at that given time for that specific campaign is just wonderful. And for 20, 30 bucks, you can get some amazing designs in here. Lastly, if you have a lot of design needs, I've never used it personally, but I've heard great things about this from other EO members, and that's Design Pickle. There's several of these out there that are this kind of all-you-can-eat buffet of designers. For about $1,000 a month, you can get unlimited graphic design services. Really cool that you can be able to scale that and turn it on and off as you need. So just remember, start with that foundation of knowing what your visual look is, add those raw materials in that photography, then you organize that photography and make it collaborative and shareable across the organization and beyond. And then lastly, you can engage with a graphic designer or do it yourself, but you won't be standing there trying to get a design done but lacking some other piece of visual design.